From Tally to Cali,
it's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up! Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One more corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hutchavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! What is up, everybody? It is Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, Tallahassee, Florida. Coming up on today's show, emergency podcast. The Noles add a playmaker on the offense. Embarrassment of riches? ? And you cannot be serious. Destyn Hill, Florida State? Is it happening? Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, Tallahassee, Florida. CPTallybar.com, the website where you can check out the daily lunch specials. Or you can always grab your phone, hit that QR code on your screen, a little barcode thing in the corner. Takes you right to the website. But it's Tuesday. You know what's going on. Tacos, beef or chicken, your choice. Lunch special. But it goes all day, though, on Tuesdays, the tacos. Usually 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., but on Tuesday, all day. Hard, soft shell, beef or chicken tacos, your choice as you get ready for trivia, which launches at 7 p.m. So go check it out over the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. You'll not be disappointed. I can always guarantee it. I just don't have any sort of way of going through the guarantee, but if we figure that out, I probably would guarantee it. Wake Up Warchant, part of the Warchant.com family. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to our website. It's only $10 for an entire year, Corey. $10 for a year. You can make 10 of your closest friends that are big-time Florida State fans so happy and over the moon. Only $100. Make 10 people happy for a whole year.
What a great Christmas present that is. They don't have to know it's only $10. Tell them it's $100. They won't know the difference.
Yeah, you can even you'll sign up for them. You make them their own username too, so you can have an inside joke if they've got some sort of nickname. You can put that part of their username and be like, here you go, bud. This is your username. This is your login. Enjoy, and then we all profit. But mainly in the soul is what I'm talking about. Profiting in the soul, right. Making people happy. Understood. Thumbs up, 5-star rating and review. We're here, Corey, because Florida State, I guess apparently. Well, first off, how are you, Corey? We don't have a long show, so I will check in. We'll do a wellness check on you real quick. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. Thanks for asking. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold, but I think I'm getting over it. I think I'm on the back side of it now, and feel pretty good. Can't complain. You know what I mean? And the Noles got a pretty nice transfer portal edition on Monday, so that was nice.
Yeah, man. So I guess apparently the plan for 2023 for Mike Norvell is I'm not gonna punt. This kid's something else, especially what he was in 2021. Didn't work out all that much for him this past season. But Jaheim Bell, apparently his hometown is Lake City, Florida, but he went to high school in Valdosta. He's a Viking. Transferring in from South Carolina. He's
He's a Wildcat. Get that right.
Oh, really?
He played with Rodemaker. They're the Wildcats. Lowndes is the Vikings.
Oh,
you would think it would be the Valdosta Vikings just with the alliteration, but no, they're the Wildcats.
Oh, okay. Thank you for correcting me. Sorry, 229 folk. Sorry, I'll take a lap after the show.
Yeah, please do. I got him. I got everything under control, guys.
But Jaheim Bell is listed as a tight end, but his departing offensive coordinator, Marcus Satterfield, called him a wide back, referred to him as Debo 2.0, Debo Samuel. If any of you watch the NFL, know that he does everything for the San Francisco 49ers, not just catching balls, but also running it. But he's listed as a tight end. He had over 70 carries this past season. He had a really strong 2021, especially with a big-time performance in the bowl game. And this is, if you want to talk about a missing piece, Corey, on this offense, that's elite.
Yeah.
Feels like they just filled it.
Yeah, no, this is a guy now. This is a potential probable NFL player. Weird kind of career. He was a freshman during COVID, so nobody really did much that year.
Well, also, he had a knee injury his senior year in high school that kind of carried over into that COVID year as well, too.
There you go. So then his first full season was 2021, and like Aslan said, I think he had 30 for 500, 30 catches for 500 yards. Mm-hmm. And then this year, it actually became a story in Columbia, man. There was a game against Missouri. I mean, if you watch his highlights, you would be like, well, why aren't they throwing it to him 2 times every quarter? At least. This doesn't make any sense. But he had a game in Missouri where I think he was on the field for 9 snaps. And, this gets into a little bit of an interesting backstory here. So after that happened, his mom was on Twitter and his uncle were on Twitter, not being very subtle or vague about their disapproval of the offense and the offensive coordinator and the fact that maybe he wouldn't be around next year. And here we are. He's not around next year. Also, I didn't realize this, Aslan. I wrote a column about it that you can read on Warchant because the full circle aspect of Jaheim the Dream is that I didn't realize that in 19 he's sitting next to Tate Rodemaker while they're announcing their college intentions or doing their high school announcement. He picks up a Florida State hat, puts it on his head, and then throws it off to the side, and then puts on the South Carolina hat. And then here we are 3 years later. He picked back up the Florida State hat, metaphorically, and is coming to Tallahassee. And he's the real deal. Like just so you know what kind of player you're talking about here. And I just want you to try to picture one of the current Florida State tight ends doing this. So he was playing tight end. He had it wasn't him being public, but his family members being public about his lack of touches. After that, one of their starting running backs, one of their main running backs, goes down to injury. So they essentially moved Jaheim Bell to running back. And then against Tennessee, in that game where they beat him by 25 points and scored 70, he had 18 carries. No, I'm sorry, he had 17 carries for 82 yards. And he also caught 2 touchdown passes. I just want you to imagine anybody in the Florida State tight end room in an SEC game against a top 10 team carrying the ball 17 times. You know what I mean? Like you can't picture it. Like what kind of athlete does that? He's 6'3", 230. In the last 4 weeks of the season, he essentially played running back. He had a rushing touchdown against Clemson. He didn't have the receiving yardage that he had the year before, but he's already shown he can do that. He's already shown he can be that guy. I think he has like 800 career receiving yards or close to it. But he also finished out his career at South Carolina by getting 12 to 15 carries a game as a tailback or an H-back or whatever you want to call him. I mean, that's crazy versatility. And it speaks to what kind of athlete Florida State is getting, man. And we've talked about, man, I think Mike Norvell is a very, very good offensive play caller. I don't know if he's a genius. I'm not throwing that out there. He is certainly a genius at getting tight ends open because they are open all the time in this offense. Now imagine this guy, a former sort of SEC running back, catching those balls wide open in the middle of the field or with 3 blockers in front on a well-designed screenplay, man. It's the one thing they were missing, I thought, at the skill positions, and they got a guy now. They got a really good guy.
Yeah, the role that DJ Lundy would play on the goal line is what this guy's been doing. So, like, when you hear running back, I mean, it's not necessarily him running a lot between the 20s, at least in a lot of these touchdowns. He's just he's got a very good specified role he carried out for South Carolina this season in and around the goal line. So that obviously already aids what, they had a little bit of a shaky spell there in the middle of the season, right, Corey, when it came to red zone offense, but they turned it on the second half of the season. They were good red zone offense last year. Man, they were just going to be incredibly, incredibly difficult to defend now, especially when they enter the red zone. I mean, I'm being a little bit facetious here, obviously, but again, man, this offense was, I don't know, man, I don't want to say borderline. I think they were an elite offense. They played the end of the season as an elite offense, and now they add this piece to it, and this is not just one. He doesn't just fill one role. Again, the coach, Marcus Satterfield, call him a wide back just because of all the different things he can do. Call him a Swiss Army. Now, if I want to read these quotes from him, and this is from going into the spring here. This is the departing offensive coordinator who's now over at Nebraska. It says, Jaheim's one of the top athletes, football players in the country. The more we develop him, understanding football IQ and how it transitions onto the field, he could be unstoppable like he was in the bowl game. People don't understand how smart this kid is. He has one of the highest GPAs on our team. He works at it. He's naturally gifted. He is set to have a really great, great year this season. So that's really high praise from a guy that Matt Rule just plucked away from Columbia. Obviously didn't have a great season, but I just can't imagine that Mike Norvell would, I don't know, sticking your neck out here, but if you're going to bring in a guy that maybe had a little bit of, some gripes with the previous coaching staff, his parents are very involved, his family's very involved in his success, which is fine. But for Mike Norvell to go ahead and be like, man, I'm going to pull the trigger on this guy and offer him, just makes you feel that, again, fit family checked out, and this guy's going to be bought in because he's already spent 3 seasons at college, so you would think one great year here, then he can probably move on. Yeah. But if not, we get him for 2 years because
and also you can't judge you can't judge people by their family members. He didn't go public. I want to say that his family members did, and also I think it speaks to who he is. Because he's got a future as a tight end. He's not going to be a running back. He's got a future as a tight end, as a pass catcher at the next level. He was willing for his team to go play running back for the last 4 games of the season and be good at it. Like that to me speaks pretty highly of the kid. If you're just looking about, we can look at the fact that he that his mom and her brother were upset with how he's being used. And I'm sure he was too. I mean, imagine being that kind of talent, losing to Missouri and only being on the field for 9 plays. That's crazy. It's borderline
malpractice,
fireable.
coaching malpractice.
Yeah, it is. So especially when he was healthy, which he fully was. But yeah, so then he comes back and helps lead that upset of Tennessee, and then scores a rushing touchdown against Clemson. And Shane Beamer. Now he was asked this. Keep in mind, he was asked this. This is a quote I have in my column. He was asked this before Jaheim transferred, but he was asked about after the game, like him getting those 17 carries against Tennessee, and he said the kid's a football player. He just is. He's a football player. Now that was the cadence he used because I watched the video. Jaheim is the kind of guy you can put him anywhere and he's going to go perform. We weren't force-feeding a tight end, forcing him to be a running back. He's a really talented football player that can do good things when the ball is in his hands, and that's obvious. And he's just it's a unique talent. And as much as we appreciate what Cam McDonald did with this program, as much as we like the strides that Marquiston Douglas has made, maybe Brian Courtney turns into something or Jarrell Powers, this guy is a proven unique talent that they have not had. Trey Benson is a unique talent. Johnny Wilson is a unique talent. Jordan Travis clearly is a unique talent. Now they have another one. You're right, man. They have an elite offense already. What's it going to look like with this guy?
I like that.
You could have Johnny Wilson and him on the same side of the field at the 9-yard line.
Oof.
Good luck. I mean, there's so many things you can do with a talent like this.
Yeah, this is like a Bruce Feldman Freaks column, but all on one roster, all on one side of the ball. I really you talked about just again, man, these are unique, different kind of football players. All those guys you just listed, and now they're all going to be together, all on the same page. It's really incredible.
You know what I saw, Aslan, that I thought was an apt comparison. Somebody on our message boards compared him. Just reading about him, just reading about him and watching him, he looks like a bigger Micah Pittman, like his role on the team and what he can do for the team. Right? Like make tough third down catches, run into rounds, get tough yards. Like he's just like a maybe bigger and more talented Micah Pittman and could serve that role. Plus you get Winston Wright, who's probably better than Micah Pittman. And Micah Pittman was good this year. And now he might be fourth most reliable pass catcher? I don't know, man. It's I have no idea what Hakeem Williams is going to be. I mean, freshman wide receivers make plays all the time. And you got all these other guys that you saw strides in last year, not to mention the running backs, although I did just mention them. Gosh, I hate that phrase. Is that not the dumbest phrase in the English language?
Not to mention?
You say not to mention something as you're mentioning it?
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. How did that start? It defies belief how dumb it is to say not to mention as you're mentioning something. But anyway, not to mention the running backs, but they're very good. It's just, the deep, when you look at this team now, again, the Twitter exploded, social media exploded when they saw that. That's great news for 2023. You have to imagine Florida State goes into next year. I think you still need one offensive lineman, maybe from the portal. Everything else is laser focused on the defense, in my opinion. If an incredible wide receiver, if a Jordan Addison clone, who won the Biletnikoff this year?
I don't know, but
Marvin Harrison kid.
I'm glad you brought that up. By the way, Nick O'Leary did win the Mackey.
Okay, good.
Sorry, everybody. Y'all were right. Our bad. I should look that up. But I don't know who won the Biletnikoff.
I felt like he did, but I wasn't sure.
I know. I should have checked it, but I didn't. I'm sorry. 22 Biletnikoff. Why wouldn't it just pop up? Jalen Hyatt.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Jalen Hyatt.
Right.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to transfer to Tallahassee, you would make room for him, clearly.
Yep.
Marvin Harrison's kid, if he wants to come, that's fine. But otherwise, if you're not getting an elite talent at wide receiver, I just think the rest of your necessities, your open spots, all have to be going to that defense, because you look at that offense now, and if it stays healthy, again, like I said, maybe one more lineman, but if it stays healthy, you are going to have one of the best offenses in the United States. If you can get a defense that can be good, not average, not great, somewhere in the middle, you have a chance to play for a championship. That's how much I believe in this offense and the weapons that this kid is going to have at quarterback. That's just, they're going to be really, really hard to stop next year.
Jaheim Bell is listed at 6'3", 232 pounds. He graded out at a 77 grade offensively overall this past year, according to PFF, 85.6 in 2021. So, again, man, just a proven commodity, a very dynamic weapon. with an already flush offense. So incredible stuff here for the Noles.
What was he in 2021?
He graded out at 85.6.
I mean, that had to be one of the higher-ranked tight ends in the United States.
Yeah,
that's remarkable, man. He's again, this isn't just there's a reason he was on On3's transfer portal rankings, which we do have on our site because On3's smart and the portal really matters. He's number 9 overall. It's like imagine looking at the top 100 high school seniors in the country, and you just got the number 9 overall prospect. That's how excited you should be for this guy. Except maybe more excited because he's proven. It's not somebody's hope that he'll turn into something. We know what he is already. And he's out of 1,200 transfers that are on the open market right now, he's the 9th best according to On3. Now, the downside is you only get him for a year. I get it. But, man, it could be a really special year. And, again, you wonder if Norvell's going to change how he coaches a little. Maybe speed up the tempo a little bit because he's going to have so many weapons and such a good offense that instead of snapping it with 20, he should be snapping it with 27 and give himself, I don't know, an extra 8 to 12 plays a year because that should result in probably another touchdown. If he can squeeze out 1 or 2 more possessions each game, that should result in a net positive for Florida State and probably an extra, 6 to 7 points.
He is the 9th best. There was a 9th best tight end graded out, Power 5, according to PFF in 2021. So
okay, all right. And you did like the minimum snaps there too? Like it's not guys that just played 6 snaps?
No, wouldn't let me do that. But because it doesn't, it grades them by the amount of targets, not the snaps.
Oh, okay.
When you grade them out offensively.
Hey, either way, I appreciate the effort, dude. I appreciate the effort. Good work.
'Tis the season, everybody. It's bowl season. Corey now here. I'm not going to make you do picks, Corey, but just thoughts real quick as we talk about MyBookie, mybookie.ag. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere over at MyBookie and use that promo code WARCHANT on your first deposit. You will receive an instant cash bonus directly into your account. You can then bet on it, win it, get your money back out, spend it on Christmas presents, buy subscriptions to WarChant for your friends and family. Florida State 7.5-point favorite on Oklahoma. Thoughts on that one, Corey? And 65.5 is the total points.
Yeah, I'm surprised that number hasn't hopped up even more, the spread. I don't know about I think the point number is probably a good one, the over-under, but I would just think Florida State would be favored by more because of the motivation and the just the fact that Florida State's better. But who knows? Could be wrong.
South Carolina, a 2.5-point underdog to Notre Dame. They have nothing left on offense. Jaheim's gone. Their leading rusher's gone.
Yeah.
Maybe we should hop on the Irish.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on there. They had a pretty good end of their season, and then they lose, 2 of their most important pieces on offense. That's interesting, to say the least. But what are you gonna do? It's 2022. You can't really understand anything anymore. But it's Florida State's game, Aslan. So yeah, I think I'd like Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame can win that game.
As we record this, the line for Ohio State Georgia is off the board, so I can't ask you for that one. Although the total point is 62. TCU, Michigan's 7.5-point favorite. I think that's generous. I think the Horned Frogs will keep it close, Corey. I don't know if you agree or disagree.
I think Michigan's probably the best team in the country, but I think that will be a game in the fourth quarter. Okay. So could go either way. I think it's going to come down to can Michigan punch one last touchdown in there to put the game away.
Little backdoor cover. Well, folks, go ahead. Get bowl season prepared and ready on your side by going to mybookie.ag and making your picks. Use that promo code WARCHAMP. Mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. All right, I know we talked about at the top of the show. This is me inserting this after Corey and I had talked into like the most natural break in the show. But if you're on Twitter, which maybe you shouldn't be on Twitter, maybe you should, I don't know. I'm not going to give you advice on that. But on Monday night, around 9 p.m., Sam Spiegelman, good human being, used to work with us at the old network. Now he's here at the new network on 3. Sam Spiegelman tweets at 8:57 p.m. last night, former top 100 wide receiver Destyn Hill of New Orleans, Edna Carr High School, expected to enroll at Florida State in May, a source tells on 3. Hill, one of the nation's fastest players, signed with the Noles over Alabama in February 2021. He then tagged Warchant and Josh Newberg in the tweet. I don't know what to tell you. Just didn't think there was any way we could do a show without mentioning that. I don't know if it makes sense. I'm not going to second guess anything Mike Norvell's doing right now. I did that earlier in my career. I'm not going to do it right now. It is beyond comprehension that a young man who has not played organized football now over 2 years is going to be able to get that scholarship fulfilled as this program is climbing and rising to one of the best in this conference. Maybe one of the 10 best in the nation next year. I don't know what it means. Like I don't know if that means it's just this staff is really loyal. We give you an offer. What was it? What was the Game of Thrones thing? Lannisters, we pay our debts. Maybe Norvell's like Norvell's. We pay our debts on the NLI, not the NIL, right? The NLI, the National Letter of Intent. I mean, you look at what they've got at wide receiver. They do lose Pokey. I guess maybe you slot him in there for Pokey, but you like what you got with Johnny and Micah. Winston Wright's back. Malik McLean, Ja'Kai Douglas gives you something special. Maybe I shouldn't say special, but he gives you something explosive. Darion Williamson had flashes in his one game. Kentron Portier's a guy that continues to be out there working hard, making plays, getting praise from the coaching staff. They got Jaheim Bell, Biscuit, Brian Courtney. They got pass catchers. They got a lot of pass catchers. But if, according to Sam here, he's, one of the nation's fastest players, you never say no to speed, right? I mean, I get it. You have 85 scholarships to use. Not all 85 are home runs. Not all of them are doubles. Not all of them are even singles. Use it on a guy that's got maybe elite speed. They do need somebody to take the top off of a defense, right? Theoretically. You didn't have an elite tight end. You went and tried to get one. Maybe you don't have elite straight line speed from anybody out wide. So maybe you go and get it. You bring this guy back. But man, he has not played in over 2 years. This program, are completely different. You are on a different planet than you were 2.5 years ago when you accepted his commitment. He hasn't played competitive football to our knowledge in 2.5 years, and you're going to be like, yeah, man, hop aboard this thing as we were going screaming down a hill at warp speed. We'll get you acclimated. All right, well, then get here in the spring, but like May? I mean, the tweet says May. That looks weird, too. Now, I'm not saying Sam's wrong, but I doubt the legitimacy of all this lining up. Whoever told him this maybe thinks that there's been maybe some sort of agreement in the past that, hey, get this done and then we'll let you back on board. Maybe. I don't know, though. I can't wrap my head around it. My mind is blown to bits and pieces. I can't imagine this happening. But if it does at this point, who are we to second-guess Mike Norvell? Back to some thoughts of Corey and I. All right, so that is a wrap for us. Don't forget later tonight, the Noles 2 in a row? 2 in a row maybe on the hardwood against South Carolina Upstate, 8:30 in Tallahassee on the ACC
Let's hope they
Network.
don't pull off an upset.
Ooh. Did I say
Nice,
upset
right?
or did I say Upstate?
You said Upstate, but
All right,
I'm saying you hope Upstate doesn't pull off the upset.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, I don't even know if Florida State's favored in that game. I assume they are, but who knows anymore.
I should probably go back to MyBookie and check it out. But, they've been pummeled by, higher-level teams like South Carolina. Their wins are over teams like Western Carolina, South Carolina State, and CIU, which I have no idea who CIU is. And none of you at home do either, so don't Google it and then be like, Aslan, that's what it is, duh, because you didn't know that either. But we'll see if they can get it done. That'd be good, right? Get a little momentum here into the holiday season. And we obviously will keep a firm grasp.
Nice.
Firm grasp. There we go. Tabs.
A farm grasp.
I wanted to say tab. I wanted to say tab and then grasp and tab, grasp. But we got everything going on with the transfer portal. Jeff Cameron Show 1 to 3 o'clock, or rather headlines. You guys doing headlines today?
That's right. Of course we are, man. What kind of question is that? We got Jaheim the Dream to talk about.
There's no football practice going on. But if anything breaks during that 1 to 3 o'clock hour, it'll be on Seminole Headlines. Michael Langston's got the PRB locked down. We probably will do like a recruiting live show. And otherwise, I'll post the thread for Renegade Express here like in the next day or so. And that'll be how we roll. this week.
And we're, what are we, as you're listening to this, we're 8 days out from signing day. And then obviously the portal is up and running clearly. So yeah, you don't want to be away from Warchant because there's going to be a lot of probably very good news in the next week to 10 days and not a lot of bad news, I wouldn't think. I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like there's going to be, there's just going to be, more portal guys. Maybe you flip one or two of these high school kids and you bring in a top 12 recruiting class. And yeah, man, it's things are looking good over here. And there is a chance, man, you just get a couple of the right pieces. Just thinking about this portal, a couple of the right pieces, or maybe a couple of guys decide they're coming back to fall into your lap on the defensive side of the ball. And I think you go into next season crazily, unbelievably. And you guys know I'm a cynic. I'm a pessimist. I see a glass half full of water, and I'm like, that water sucks. I'm that guy. I get it. But you go into next season genuinely thinking about making the playoff and playing for a championship. Not saying it would happen. You certainly would be in favor for it.
You were talking about conference championship only a few days ago. Now we're talking playoff. Let's go.
If you get the right pieces now on defense, if you get some NFL dudes to come in for your defense for a year, to go with this offense, which literally coming back, I mean, I don't know what offense coming back are you sure is going to be better than this one? Like
Maybe
Ohio
Southern
State's
Cal.
always got a great offense, but their quarterback's leaving. Tennessee's quarterback is leaving. Alabama's quarterback is leaving. Like your quarterback is staying and he's awesome, and this offense is great with him. So yeah, you got an offense like this, you got a chance. And if you can get some pieces on defense to just be good, then yeah, man, you might be we might be, who knows where we'll be around New Year's Eve of next year, Aslan. I can't even believe it. I can't believe I'm saying stuff like this.
This conference has no idea what's about to happen to it.
None.
Wake Up Warchant. That's a wrap for us. Presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Stay connected to warchant.com throughout the day over the premium recruiting board. Again, all the transfer portal news over there. Seminole headlines coming up 1 to 3 o'clock. Have a great one, everybody.